Welcome to the Learn to Win Trading Day Trading Crash Course Video 4. This will be talking about the KISS Trading Strategy Part 2. Now the goal here with the KISS Trading Strategy, and particularly the entry signals, is not necessarily to get in on every push in the market. Our goal is to just identify the highest probability trades for yourself. That way you're going to win more than you lose. We do this with a simple 1, 2, 3 step approach we teach our students, which you can literally use as a checklist in going through and identifying these trades. Step 1, the trend confirmation. Step 2, the KISS entry signal. And step 3, execute your plan. This video is focused on step 2, the KISS entry signal. There are two types of signals here that help us identify our trades. We're looking for the upper indicators now in our charts to help us determine an entry point for our trades after we've already identified the trend confirmation using the lower indicators in our charts. The first entry I'm going to show you is the stair step entry, we call it. You'll kind of maybe see why in the picture I'm going to show you here. Alright, the first thing we're looking for in the market, we want to wait for a particular candle. Now keep in mind this is after we've identified a point series trend confirmation. We're going to wait for the candle to finish that creates a kink in the lower indicators. Okay, and this is actually the confirmation of our point series trend confirmation as well. Okay, now we're looking at the kink down here. Once we see the green candle going up, the first green candle going back up that creates this kink, we wait for it to finish. Then we're going to draw an imaginary line, an entry zone per se, between the yellow line and the breakout point of the support or resistance. This is our entry zone where you can enter on the very next candle after the kink anywhere within this zone. The sooner you enter in this zone, the better off you're going to be as far as capitalizing on profit, but it's also a more aggressive entry. The further up you get in this zone, the more conservative your entry. Now that you've identified your entry point, or your entry zone rather, in this particular pattern, this is going to give you an entry on momentum in a high probability trade. In this case, going long. Okay, the next signal that I'm going to show you is what we call the mat trade, utilizing the red line in our charts or the mat line. Okay, so we're looking in particular the red line in this chart. The first thing we're going to look for in the market, after you've identified a trend confirmation, you're going to look for the first candle that crosses the mat or the red line going in your direction. In this case, we see that right here. Once we see that signal, our lower indicators are going to tell us something about this entry. And we want to see both of the lines, the red and green lines on our lower side of the charts, through the zero line with a buffer zone. When I say buffer zone, I'm talking about some space. A good amount of space between this blue line and where the points on the green and red line are. That's going to be a buffer zone, and the greater the buffer zone, the higher the probability of this trade running your way. What this is going to do for us now is give us an entry on a high probability trade with the trend movement on your side. And this is in particular a signal that the trend is going to be moving through the mat line, in this case in the direction going long for our trade. This is our entry right on the mat line. We don't necessarily have so much an entry zone on this trade, but a particular point where we know we want to enter, and in this case going long. Okay, so the high probability entry signals are key in this 1, 2, 3 step approach. Identify the trend confirmation first, and that was covered in the previous movie. Identify the KISS entry signal. Now number 3, execute your plan. We're going to be discussing your plan, developing your personal trading plan in video 5 of our Day Trading Crash course.